Beautiful movie, sir. Congratulations on it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed doing it.
Well, do you enjoy the music aspect of it again for you in your career?
I mean, that young man in that clip there with me, Rob Mays.
Yes.
He's an exceptional music talent. And then Lee Brice is in it, who's kind of already made himself a legend in the music business. So to be in there with the real guys was kind of daunting in the beginning.
Well, and you more than held your own, obviously. The Neon Highway is in theaters near you next week, March 15th, and our radio audience just joined us. We just showed to our Roku channel audience a clip with Beau Bridges, who's here on the Rich Eisen Show. And again, it is great to see you here. Is it true in this film that all the performance scenes were recorded live in this film?
Yeah, which again made me nervous because I hadn't been out there. You know, music has always been a hobby of mine. I got my first guitar when I was age 16. I got an old Dan Electro, kind of garage guitar, very inexpensive. But then I got into sports. I love playing sports. And so I handed my guitar off to my little brother, Jeff, when he was about 8. And he just took it over and got really good on it. And then he sold my guitar to one of his friends, you know, when he was just a young guy. And if he hadn't done that, that guitar would probably be worth thousands of dollars.
Yes, I imagine so. How much did you make for his guitar back in the day? Do you remember?
I don't know, no. But, yeah, but I've always loved playing music and doing a little composing. But this was really exciting to be in here with these guys.
What did you like about the role? Again, you're playing a country music star who's past his prime, but then there's a younger star who has an accident and needs to light his flame for his passion for music again. So what did you enjoy about this?
I think what's important to me when I first read the script was this idea that as you get older, it's important to find a purpose for being. I mean, it's important at any age to have a purpose.
Sure.
But especially when you're older, it tends sometimes lose that flame you're talking about. And this is about a guy who gets it back. He loses it and gets it back.
And it's in theaters near you again next week, March 15th. You play Claude Allen in this film with Rob Mays and T.J. Power and some serious talents at music, and you're holding your own in it, man. You're doing your.
We're going to go to Nashville on the 13th. It has its premiere. That'll be fun. That's a great city.
You're going to go to Lower Broadway and just start performing?
Oh, absolutely. Not perform.
That's what I'm saying. No.
I'm going to walk up and down and listen to all the other great people.
Yeah, the NFL draft was a few years ago, and they turned Lower Broadway into essentially the draft hall. And just
cool.
walk. It really was. It really was just walking up and down and just going in all of these places. And I remember one night I'm like, all right, I'm going to do some karaoke in here. And then I saw like these are like some real musicians that were getting up there.
Yeah, they're so good.
These are real deal people that are strolling around that city. For sure. Beau Bridges here on the Rich Eisen Show. We have a segment here, sir, where we like to go through somebody's career and their life based on what we see on the internet to see what's true or what's false. And we ask you, okay, so let's do it right now. And as always, we have some terrific production value along with it. Beau Bridges, celebrity, true or false? Hit it right here. Go ahead and hit it.
Celebrity, true or false?
You can't handle the truth.
There you go. That's our production value. There you go. All right. First up, celebrity, true or false with Beau Bridges. True or false? In your youth, you would act out intense film scenes atop a flatbed truck in front of a supermarket, and it drew the ire of local law enforcement. True or false?
What was the last part?
That local law enforcement was not happy that you were doing this, that they had to take you down off the truck.
Supportive.
That's good.
When you're talking about it is I would take my brother along with me when he was young, about 16 years old. We'd get on the back of a flatbed truck, And then to get an audience, we'd stage a fight. We'd fight each other because our dad taught us how to stage fight and street fight. So we'd do that. And then people would come around, and then we'd jump up on the back of the truck and perform scenes from, some show or something. But we always checked out the police before we did it because we didn't want to get arrested.
So wait a minute. You draw a crowd by stage fight, like acting like you're fighting?
Yeah.
Then the crowd would come around?
Come around, then we'd jump up on the thing and
so
do it.
It'd be like getting the attention by fighting.
That's right.
And while we have your attention, here's a scene. That's the way it would work?
You got to bring them in any way you can, man.
Wow. Okay. And so you checked in with law enforcement beforehand.
First. Oh, absolutely.
Like I said, this is fake. Don't break it up. We're just trying to get a crowd.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
So what would you perform on the flatbed truck?
Well, I remember Jeff and I once did scenes from Come Blow Your Horn.
Okay. That's what you would do back in the day.
We had a little funky, microphone set up there and everything.
Okay. The second one here, we're fascinated about this story, and we're wondering if it is in fact true. True or false, Beau Bridges, you got into a scuffle with Gary Cooper on the set of High Noon.
Well, got into a what?
Scuffle, a fight.
No. My dad got into a scuffle with him.
Not you?
When I was a kid, my dad used to take me on location. So we went to Sonora where he was filming High Noon. Mm-hmm. And he said, you can come out to the set this morning. I'm going to be in a fight scene with Gary Cooper, which turned out to be one of the classic fight scenes in movie westerns, if you remember. And he said, you can come, but you got to keep your mouth shut. Mr. Cooper is not feeling really 100%. I'm going to find a nice place for you where you can be up and watch it. Just be quiet. Mm-hmm. And he said, it's all, choreographed. It's going to look pretty rough, but no one's getting hurt. So just relax up there and you can watch it. So we go. They found me a spot up in a hayloft, and I'm looking down, and they get into it, and it goes off. And it's a wild fight. I mean, these guys... No stunt guys, just my dad and Mr. Cooper. Uh-huh. And they're rolling around underneath horses, and it was crazy. But I knew my dad said no one's going to get hurt, so I was okay with it. I'm watching. But he did not prepare me for the last thing, which was he started to get on his horse, and Cooper hits him with a straight right and knocks him cold. He goes to the ground, and I'm thinking, okay, that's all right. He's all right. It's all planned. But then Cooper goes over, fills up a pail of water, and goes over and throws the water on top of my dad. And I cracked up, busted out laughing, and just ruined the take.
No way!
Yeah. And then now we're going back to the hotel, and my dad is pissed. He says, I told you to keep your mouth shut. I could get fired over this. Mr. Cooper's not feeling well. Blah, blah, blah. Get back to the hotel. Now we're waiting to go up in the elevator to get something to eat. I'm just feeling terrible. And who walks up to get into the elevator but Mr. Cooper? And my dad says, how you doing, Coop? You feeling okay? And he says, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm thinking, oh, God, here it goes. And then Mr. Cooper said, how would you folks like to join me for dinner?
Hey.
And I went, ah.
See, now that's a great story. Believe it or not, the story that you got into a scuffle with Gary Cooper on the set of High Noon is on the website of the Oscars. Yeah. Oscars.org is where we pulled that one from.
Yeah,
so we got to update that information. Wow. Let them know that.
Great story.
While we're on the subject of your dad, let's just hit a timeout button here. So for people my age, obviously I have seen your dad and I know who he is and his legend.
Yes.
But for people my age, the first time I was introduced to him was when he was sniffing glue on Airplane.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's the first way I got introduced to your dad. What was your perspective of watching him do this?
My dad was a real straight arrow.
Yeah.
And he was very concerned. My brother and I were, not dabbling in any of the drugs that were coming around at that time.
Yes.
And he would question us all the time. So when that movie came out and we saw it, we gave him so much trouble over that. I said, you know what? I said, you are a hero to so many young people. How could you, in your role, advertise sniffing glue? What a terrible thing to do. And he, we worked it pretty good over that.
That's the way I was introduced to him, and my parents had to basically say, no, let me tell you about Lloyd Bridges, okay? And I'm like, wow, the guy who sniffed glue on airplane was the real deal, and Leslie Nielsen pretty much as well, he was a straight actor from his filmography, and he did that.
Yeah, but Leslie, he was quite a character. You know about his whoopee cushion, right?
Yeah. Were you ever?
Oh, God. In elevators, Leslie would go in there with a straight face. The people in the elevator look at him, what the hell?
I love that. And then, of course, your dad had a great run on Seinfeld as well as Mandelbaum.
Yeah, that made us nervous.
Why?
Because he was probably about my age. He was in his 80s, and he was doing like pratfalls and stuff on that
and
show.
The barbells, right?
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And but he pulled it off.
He did. Well, I mean, that was his character. He was going to be told that he couldn't be lifting his lifting
now,
weights.
I'm going to ask you and your listeners.
Yes.
You don't have to tell. You probably won't know the answer to this. But if you were a fan of my father,
yes, what
was the name of his boat on Sea Hunt?
Oh my goodness, Mikey, you want to help out on that one?
No, I know.
What was the name of his boat?
Maybe if I give you the theme song, it'll help you.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Was it Rawhide?
No.
No, God, no.
It starts with an A. I'll give you the first syllable.
What are you on? Argonaut? Look at us.
Very good.
Thank you. My producers are very, very, very good. Got Beau Bridges here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, continuing celebrity, true or false. True or false, you played basketball for John Wooden at UCLA and were able to draw on that experience when you portrayed him in a one-man show.
Yes, a lot of that is true.
Okay.
Not so much playing for John Wooden.
Okay.
I sat on the bench.
Okay. So you sat for John Wooden.
I was on the freshman team at UCLA back in the day when you couldn't play varsity when you were a freshman.
Yes.
And it was a great experience because he was, we maintained a friendship up until he died, almost at 100. And what an incredible man. I did a lot of his voice on his books, and I would introduce him at different events when he was awarded things. He would say we were a dog and pony show, but you're familiar with his pyramid of success, probably, aren't you?
Oh, sure.
For those who have never heard of this, I would recommend you Google up Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success. It's incredible. And, the guy won almost 10 straight national championships in a row. No one will ever come close to that.
We have it on our set, as a matter of fact. Mike, why don't you just go grab it and hold it up? We are very well familiar with this.
The whole idea is the blocks of characters, things that you need to find success.
We believe it's signed by Wooden, is it not? That's what we have.
Yeah, wow. I found this at a
coach.
Yeah. At a flea market.
Success had nothing to do with winning. It had to do with finding peace of mind. And how do you find peace of mind? By leaving the task knowing that you've done your very best. And the two cornerstones of the pyramid, one, enthusiasm, joy, and the other one, industriousness, hard work. Because Coach said anybody can come to the task with hard work, but when you bring it in combination with joy, that's when great things happen.
I think we have a photo of you playing high school hoops. As a matter of fact, there you are.
Oh, there I am.
How many points a game, Beau? What do you got?
I averaged 1.5 points a game.
Come on.
Yes, and I think I got 1 or 2 rebounds or something.
Looks like a good defensive posture, though. At least looks like you're. What a great time, and
you know, I guess the year, maybe a couple of years, I can't remember when Kareem came in there, but do you remember that his freshman team beat the varsity that had won the whole thing?
Makes sense.
You know.
So I guess that was my follow-up before I have one more for you, is while you were sitting for Coach Wooden, who was playing for him? Who were your teammates?
Our center was, you know, people usually think that Coach won all his championships with big, tall centers, but our center, Fred Slaughter, was 6'6", but he was, you know, built like a brick house. He was a force. And let's see, who else? Larry Gower was on the team. He went up and played a little varsity. Yeah, but that was it for me. I went out for track.
Okay.
Because they had a race in tennis shoes for the freshman team. And I won the race. And so everyone was excited. They said, "You got to go out for track." And I said, "Oh, okay. I'll try it." I never had. So I went out there and I trained for like a couple months, learning how to come out of the blocks. And this young kid from Jefferson High School, I can't remember his name, he'd run like just under 900.
Right.
I mean, just under 1000. And so after I worked out a little bit, they had a match race for us. First time I'd been timed. Had a gun and everything. You know, I'm in the blocks. I come out of the blocks. I'm running, and this guy's right there. And I was told, you know, you never turn your head. You got to keep straight ahead.
Right.
So I'm doing that, and I beat him by about like this.
Hey.
And I'm thinking, man, this is a whole new career for me opening up. And I ran over to the coaches, and they're all laughing at me. And I said, what's going on? What was my time? He said, your time was 11:2. And I said, 11:2, but I beat him. He says, yeah, he fell. And I just beat him like that.
That's funny.
Track is tough.
Oh,
man,
no
I'm
doubt.
telling you.
Last one for you, Beau Bridges.
Yes,
True or
sir.
false, your brother Jeff convinced you your fabulous Baker Boys character should have thinning hair and offered to shave it himself. Is that true?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's true. Yeah, we were having a couple of glasses of wine one night before we did the thing, and he said, you know, you're supposed to, your hair is supposed to be thinning, and you don't want to have a ball pate, you know, and he was right about that, you know, where I've had that done before, where they put a thing on you and a big makeup deal in the chair. And I said, okay, but not too much, please. And he just screwed me up, man. He just shaved me so bad. And then, you know, when it grows out like a little corkscrew.
Sure.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, okay. So that is true. I love that movie. That movie is just an absolute classic. I had the soundtrack and everything in college. I played the hell out of it. And it was awesome.
That movie, you know, they wanted, my career has been kind of a roller coaster ride. And then at that particular time, I was kind of dipping down in, you know, in my, you know, the different options I had. And he got the script first. He was cast, and they wanted to cast as his brother, someone that was, you know, riding high. One of the young new actors coming out, and or not new, the ones who were established. And my brother said, "No, I want my brother to play." Young Steve Clovis was directing.
Right.
And so I went and had lunch with Steve, and I brought a little Polaroid photograph of Jeff and I on the back of that.
How about that?
The back of that truck, and I think that's what helped me get that job.
Well, it's a good thing you staged the fight to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Get you on the truck. Fantastic. Beau, what a pleasure. Everybody check out The Neon Highway in theaters next week from Mountain Movies. Beau Bridges here on The Rich Eisen Show. What a pleasure having you on. Anytime you want to come back, love to chit-chat more. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.